Hello everyone, Dallas the Mad or Regenerate Degenerate here. Today we are going to be talking about how to create a character for Traveler. This is going to be in my journal for this game. And yeah. So we're going to be naming this character Jax. Age 18, homeworld Tanath, because I am going to be running actually I'm going to make it Ashfield Station, which is like a station within the sector that I'm going to be starting out in. We're going to be human. I have 0 rads, obviously, and I'm just going to put this down here, so they know it's going to be an example character. You gotta click on it again in order. Oops, excuse me. In order to look at it. Alright, first thing we gotta do is, when you're making a Traveler character, is roll your stats. It is 2d6 or 2 6-sided die for each stat. I'm just gonna copy that. So this is going to be for strength. 7, 10, that's pretty good. 9, these are pretty good stats. Might make a military guy. 9, holy crap. Okay, we got 5 education, or 4 education, then 7. Let's gonna go ahead and put these numbers in. I usually do it in a row, but your game master may ask you to do something else. Just 1 second. 9. So maybe he was like on a backwater planet, but he's like one of the gifted people of this station. So that was a high class. Not a lot of education. Maybe this guy is more of a hands-on learner. Alright, now that we got this done, we can get to choose. If you open your Traveler rulebook, we get to choose 2 because it is modified by our education modifier. Some background skills. So I'm planning this guy being kind of a spacer. So I'm going to be going vac suit, as well as I'm gonna do vac suit and flyer for his skills. Vac suit. Actually, I'm gonna go mechanics. Those are pretty good starters. Mechanic, I believe, uses intelligence, and vac suit, I am unsure of for right now. So instead of the 3, we get a -1 to our education, so we only get 2. Alright, so now we're going to choose if we're going to be going into university or military academy, or if we're going to be jumping right in. With that real high, we can either go, we got an equal intelligence and endurance, so we have an equal shot at either Marines or the Navy, and I would think that he would be more interested in the Navy since, you know, he grew up on this station. So we are going to roll intellect, and we need to get a 9 or more in order to enter the military academy. Just making sure I got it right. Let's see. 9. By the skin of our teeth. If we didn't get that +1, we would have made it. So we barely managed to get into the service, or the military academy. we gain all of the service skills of the Navy. The Career Academy is tied to at level 0 as with basic training. Alright, so we're going to move into the Navy career, if I can find it. And we are going to get all of that service skills at level 0. So let's go back to skills. Normally, if you are untrained in a skill, you start at -3. And so vac suit and mechanic are already a part of the service skills for this, so we're just going to add pilot. We're going to add athletics. We're going to add gunner, as well as gun combat. And all of these are trained. Gunner, I believe, is dexterity based. Gun combat is definitely dexterity based. Athletics is strength, I believe, most of the time. Pilot, intellect. And so we're going to go back to Military Academy, and we are going to roll 2d6 for an event for our term. Let's see what happens. Alright, we got a 9. You develop a healthy interest in a hobby or other area of study. Gain any skill of your choice, with the exception of Jack of all trades at level 0. Okay, so we can look back at here and we can see what is a hobby he might have other than Jack of all trades. I might say that he takes a... I didn't think we take engineer, actually. Here, let me go back and look at the Navy. I don't know if it was mechanics or engineer. Navy. Yeah, it was mechanic. So I'm thinking we may take astrogation or engineer. So far he's I'm gonna say astrogation, and this is gonna be taken at trained. It is, I think it is linked. Engineer, I think, is actually, they're both linked to education. But hopefully we can graduate and get a +1. Alright, now we need to roll for graduation. Alright, we need to roll int, and we need to get an 8 or more. Our endurance is 9, and it states that if our endurance is 8 or more, we get a +1. So we roll intellect with a +2 altogether. So 1. Alright, 8. We rolled exactly enough. So, if entering the same military career the academy is tied to, select any 3 service skills and increase them to level 1. Alright, so we're going to go back to Navy. And I am going to probably select pilot. I will select gunner and mechanic, and increase them to level 1. So gunner, mechanic, and pilot are now all level 1. Excuse me. Increase education by an additional +1. An additional. Okay, I think that's a typo because it doesn't say I gain it. So we're now at 6 education. Since we did not graduate with honors, we do not increase our social. Graduation always allows automatic entry into the military career the academy is tied to, and a commission roll to be taken before the first term of the military career, so long as it is the first career taken at with DM +2. Success will mean the traveler enters the career at officer rank 01. If we do with honors, we get an automatically pass this roll. So I am intending and going and making this character a Navy man. So we will be in the Space Navy. I believe. Alright, commission. We need to roll a social of 8 or more, and we get a +2 bonus to it. So let us see if we can get this commission. And we do make this commission. Well over what we needed. So we are now an officer, and we get melee blade 1 for our troubles. So melee. And this is at level 1, so this is trained. Melee, I believe that it is dex or strength, but I may be wrong. And this will be blade at level 1. Alright. I do believe since we got all of the service skills, we just pick one of our tables and we roll. So we can choose from personal development, service skills, officer, and I get to choose what assignment I want. I think this one wants to be a dexterity. I am going to be a flight officer. So I am going to pick flight for this turn. And I am going to roll a d6 and see what I get. I got a 4, which means that I get pilot small craft. So I was already a 1 at this, so I'm just going to make small craft a +2. Or I can add 2. I might just add 2 because I already had it. And now I'm going to look in the book and see what other craft there is. I'm going to get spacecraft because I forgot to select my specialty earlier. So yeah, we're really good at piloting. Piloting is intellect as well. After this, we must roll for survival, and for flight, it is dexterity with 7 or more. Seven, we barely survived. This is a pretty dangerous career when it comes to survival, but we get to roll our event. 4, you are given a special assignment or duty on board ship. Gain DM +1 to any benefit roll. Alright, so we're going to come in here and we are going to just write this down. DM +1 to any benefit roll. Alright, now that we have done our event, we have to roll an education of 5 or more in order to increase our rank as an officer, and if we do, we will get leadership 1 for rank 2. Alright, we definitely become rank 2, so we get leadership 1 as a skill. Leadership, and we get such at level 1. As well as, because we got an advancement, we get to pick one and roll yet again. This time I am going to pick personal development and roll a d6 on that in order to see if we can get a stat increase. Two, our dex is increased by 1. Alright, and that is the end of this term. We are going to continue this term. So now we need to pick yet another skills and training and roll on it again for the start of this term. We are now 22, 26, and at the end of this term we will be 30. So don't be afraid to take your time. It's pretty complicated and there's a lot of risk involved. I'm going to roll on officer at the beginning of this term. So 1d6. 6. Tactics naval. If I can find tactics. There we go. Naval. And this is going to be level 1. If you gain one where it doesn't say a specific number, you just increase it by 1. So if you have no training in it, it just skips 0 and it goes straight to 1. So it's pretty cool. Alright. We will now roll dex once again, and we will hopefully survive and not have a mishap. One thing good about this game that I like is how intense it gets when it comes to, you know, you might get kicked out even though you don't want to, but we managed to hold on. So we get to roll 2d6 for our event. 8. Your vessel participates in a diplomatic mission. Gain 1 of Recon 1, Diplomat 1, Steward 1, or a contact. I'm going to take Recon 1. Just because I don't see this guy as a big socialite. So Recon, this is intelligence. And we are a 1 at it. Oh no, we have a level 1 in it. Alright, now let's roll education yet again and hopefully get a 5 so we can advance. 3, 1, and a 2. So yeah, we failed to advance, but we are not kicked out or anything like that. So we are now 30 years old. And if we go one more time, we will age. But I'm willing to take that risk. So let us begin a new term. I'm going to pick... I'll take flight again for this one. Three, electronics. Do we have electronics already? Apparently not. Electronics. And this is at level 1. Electronics is intellect. And we need to find a specialty, so I'm going to look at the specialties we get and make a decision. If I can find the part of the book. So we got comms, we got computers, we got remote ops, and we got sensors. I am going to say that he will be studying sensors at this point, so yes. So we're going to make his specialty sensors. Alright, going back, and now we have to roll yet again for survival. Fingers crossed. 5, we have failed, and we must have a mishap. So let's roll 1d6 and see what happened. 4, you are blamed for an accident that causes the death of several crew members. If you were responsible, then you gain 1 free roll on the skills and training table before you are ejected from your career, as your guilt drives you to excel. If you were not, then gain the officer who blamed you as an enemy, but you get to keep the benefit roll from this term. I am going to... I am probably going to keep the benefit roll and get the enemy. So, Colonel hard, but this can be filled out later. But yeah, keep roll for benefit for last term of Navy. Alright, so that ejected us from the career. We don't get to advance. Our final rank was 2. This is for Navy. I'm going to go 1 more term in the Scouts. So we are now 34, which means that we must roll 2d6 minus 4, and as long as we get a 1 or better, we do not take any aging penalties. 7, we are completely good. Our body has not shut down at all, so we are going to, we were not to blame for the death of our crew members. It was really our officer, and yeah. So we are going to go and go to Scout. We need to get an int 5+, and we get a -1 for our last career. So let's roll int at -1 and see if we can enter this career. 6. We barely get to make it. Alright, so we get to roll and see which service skill we get. Oh, I believe we get to pick one. I'm going to pick survival, since it's the only one we don't already have, I believe. I'm correct. Survival, and we get that at level 1, or level 0, almost, sorry. And survival is intellect based, and we are trained in it. Now we need to find out, do we want to be a courier, a surveyor, or an explorer? A courier, you are responsible for shuttling messages. Surveyors, you visit border worlds and assess their worth. An explorer. I'm going to say we are a... Right now, he's really wanting like a cushy job. He doesn't really want to, do much, but he doesn't want to be bored either. So he's going to take the surveyor. So now we're going to roll endurance, and we want to get a 6 or more in order to survive this term. 7, we survive, and let's roll 2d6 for our event. 7, life event. Alright, roll 2d6 again for the event. 6, new relationship. You have become involved in a romantic relationship. Gain an ally. So I'm thinking maybe he reunited with his best friend from military school. I was clicking on that. And his best friend, you know, after they have, you know, met up from military school, they become closer and closer, and they get assigned to the same surveying team, and yeah, they fall in love. So Jax and Jonathan are going to be lovers from currently met in military school. Alright, now let's roll for advancement. In order to advance, we need to roll a 8 or more on intellect. 7, we fail to advance, but we don't really mind. He is now 38, and we need to roll 2d6 minus 5. 1, we do not have any aging penalties, but I believe this is where Jax is going to stop progressing. We are now going to muster out our benefits. We're going to go back to Navy, and we're going to muster out those benefits first. See, we were in there for 3, if I do believe. So the first one we are going to write is benefits. So 1d6, and we're going to use that +1 bonus. 5, we get TAS membership. Member, that is the Traveler Aid Society. Another one for benefits. 5, we got that again. It's a reroll. 3, education +1 or 2 ship shares. 7, I'm just going to take the 2 ship shares. It's not going to really do anything for us. Shares. And we're going to do, you know what, we're going to do 1 on cash. 3, we get 5,000 credits. So let's go to our inventory. Cash on hand, 5,000. And that is our benefits for being in the Navy. I think we get an extra 1 actually for being rank 2 in the career. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, we get a extra. So we are going to pick 1 more. We're going to pick benefits again. 4, weapon. So we're going to get a weapon. I believe it has to be 2,000 credits or less and TL12. So weapon. So then we are going to go into Scout, and we're going to muster out our 1 benefit from Scout. Actually, we'll go cash. 1d6. 1. 20,000 credits. Scout services is really good for getting lots and lots of credits. It's an easy job. Alright, we mustered out our benefits. We are pretty well and good. We could buy equipment and other such things, but I believe that that's kind of obvious. So, yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and I will answer. You guys have a nice day. Bye.